Well, I think academia have got a kind of a novel take. We do chemistry really. We do a lot of blue skies chemistry, and I think to justify ourselves sometimes we need impact, and a lot of the deliverables in terms of the ref and other kind of outputs that a university needs to do are in terms of the impact of the work. So having sort of like pharmaceutical companies on board can add value to your science. So you can generate intellectual property. You can actually do science that's sort of like I guess aimed at say a particular disease. So for example, we've worked on something that's it's actually a strange situation, because we were publishing work on a particular area of chemistry, and we got contacted by industry and by a charity to actually work in a disease area that we weren't aware of, and that was actually industry coming to us. So it's not always academia approaching industry. You can sometimes have industry approaching academia, and obviously industry adds all the kind of screening platforms and all the assays that are very expensive to do otherwise. So I think it's a really good, obviously there's a training opportunity as well for students. It allows students to get trained and get, see if they really want to work in industry afterwards, get future employment prospects out of it. Yeah. I think one of the there are quite a few challenges. I think, the expectations of industry and maybe the constraints from industry can sometimes be a little bit too frustrating. Sometimes we can't publish. We're not allowed to, and it could have an impact on a student's PhD, for example, or on the CV if they can't get papers from their thesis. In other ways, I think academia, sometimes the tech transfer departments they don't have experience of industry, so they want to patent things at a too early stage. So you end up with a very expensive patent that's going to go worldwide in 2 years, and you've not taken your compounds anywhere. So I think academia has to chill out a little bit and sort of like realise that the longer you wait to patent, although the fact is you could be overtaken by someone else and lose your intellectual property, you'd be scooped by someone else, probably the better it is. It's probably better to do kind of work on it as long as you can and then patent it at the latest possible moment, because then you'll get your maximum reward back from your patent, because it's a 20-year protection of your compound. So if you patent on day 1 or day 50 of your invention, the clock's ticking from that moment. So I've got a number of colleagues, either where I am now or where I was before, who've been sitting on patents for 3 years and got no one there, and then they just finally shelve it. And I really like the model of sort of Structural Genomics Consortium at Oxford, where they do a lot of things pre-competitively. So they don't really embrace intellectual property. They actually develop chemical probes and they develop sort of drug-like molecules in terms of like open access. It's the Linux of drug discovery. They're sort of like, there's nothing really in the way. But when they develop these probes, it doesn't mean you can't develop a patent from that. The probe is then the starting point. And you can sufficiently change that probe to develop a drug and then get intellectual property. And then you've already invested, maybe you've saved 5 years, and then you've got that to save in the patent. Then you've got an extra 5 years, you patent 5 years down the line, rather than patenting at year 0, and you've lost a lot of your patent. So I think that's a really good concept, yeah. I think it's really good. I mean, I came here in about, I think I came to one of these SELECTBIOs in about probably late 90s or early 2000s. It was really, really early. And I remember filling in a questionnaire and not having enough space to complain. And I remember a talk from Aztecs, who are a fantastic biotech company, and they showed all this crystallography. It was great. And I mentioned this today. And they had this unique screening platform, an X-ray crystallography, which not many people had. Nowadays, you've got that. And then they said, right, and this is the chemistry, and they just black boxed everything. You saw no structure, and it was really frustrating to go somewhere and not learn anything. And so I said to SELECTBIO, look, you've got to do something about this. I come here to learn about a chemistry. How you got this molecule more selective? How you got this molecule less metabolized? How you got overcome this particular problem with a molecule? You can't see that if they say, no, we can't talk about this because it's under patent protection and we've not filed a patent yet. So we introduced a concept. They got me on the scientific advisory board, and we introduced a concept. We had case studies and then you saw, here's molecule A, this is a problem here, a problem there, and this is how we tweaked it. And then students can learn about medicinal chemistry, and you learn something from it by seeing. And I've noticed today a lot of molecules and a lot of kind of case studies, which I think is it's great. I think, so the education through this kind of conference has improved dramatically. So I think it appeals both to academia and to industry. And you see a lot of the people here, they're from big academic institutes that work with industry, because industry needs academics and academics need industry. And I think they work together synergistically. I think that's the best way, because academics have got niche areas of research that they're not doing in academia, in industry, for example. And industry's got access to kits that, and to assays and to technologies that academia don't. So I think here it's a great networking opportunity as well, because you meet people, you have a bit of a laugh, have a drink together, and suddenly you never know. You get a partnership, or you get a collaboration, or you've got a friend. And you never know, you could. I think it's a great opportunity. I've brought two of my PhD students here, and they're really, really impressed by the conference, and they're really impressed by like the posters and the opportunity to meet other people, and the accessibility of people. People come in, they'll talk to anyone, and they're quite free to sort of give out advice, and I think it's a really good kind of networking opportunity. Yeah.